Now, many people might say that the BBC simply have their own death wish. As I told you recently, they've decided now that they're going to have to cut down on the Department of News. Why? Because people don't believe it, and more importantly, they're not watching it. And given the fact that they don't cover the stories that truly matter to people over here in the United Kingdom, it's hardly surprising. Coupled with the disgrace, of course, of Hugh Edwards and presenters being allowed to say and do what they want on camera and then seemingly also welcome back, you can understand the problem that they've now got. However, some people might say they have a bigger issue with this, and others already are stating that this is just the final sign-off for what they see as the decline of what was once a very brilliant broadcasting corporation. As ever, let me explain. Hi, how are you? I'm all right, thank you. Nice to see you. Welcome, one and all. It's a funny thing, isn't it? You know, when we talk about stuff like this, it does divide people. And I like to share these stories with you simply because I look at these and I think, what do I think to this? And ultimately, I think, well, no, I wouldn't want to pay for this. It's not what I agreed with. And also, it's like when I told you about the story about the behind the scenes of Strictly Come Dancing and the problems. Astronomical salaries for jobs really that most people would give their eye teeth for. So what makes these people so special? They say, of course, well, they have a finite time to make their money. What I would say is, well, Tess Daly's had many years now on the BBC payroll. She must be a multimillionairess. So consequently, how hard was that job? You see how this works. Now, remember when the BBC gave us golden comedies like, To the Manor Born, Fawlty Towers. I mean, there were so many greats, weren't there? The Two Ronnies, Dick Henry. Everything was, you look forward to it on a Saturday night. I particularly love the Generation Game with Bruce Forsyth, particularly when he did those plays at the end where people were rubbish, but it was just great fun, and it certainly were entertaining. Now, you'd be amazed to find that the BBC apparently have a comedy department. I know, me too, couldn't believe it. Many years ago, let's say about 5 years ago now, I had a meeting with the head of the BBC comedy, and I suggested a few ideas, particularly interviewing comedians who had been out of the limelight a bit and their memories. No, they weren't interested in that, wouldn't appeal to their audience. Apparently, though, this would. This is the head judge, right, of the BBC, this year's BBC Comedy Awards. Now, she's everything that you could possibly, that they want. It's a tick box, non-binary, a hijab wearing, you see what I mean? All of the stuff that you think, really? So this woman is now the head judge. And you think, well, could it get any worse? Well, it can, because the act that they decided to put on as the trailer on this particular new thing to try and entice you to vote or whatever is a transgender comedian, right? Now, I watched the act. I won't bore you with it because I watched the act, and basically it's all about their journey and what happens. And, now to me, maybe I'm old fashioned, but the golden rule of comedy is you have to get people laughing from the wings to the center of the mic. The minute you arrive, you've got to come on with a gag. You've got to get them because the audience. Now, what you're seeing there in that particular audience, and you can really see there's the other judges sitting there next to them. They're forcing laughter because they know there's a camera on them, whether they want to admit that or not. They're being paid, so they're transmitting to you, oh, this is funny. Right, okay. Now, everything, as I would say, as somebody who's worked in comedy and who's worked with excellent comedians like the late and brilliant Joan Rivers over the years, lucky enough to meet the likes, of course, of Phyllis Diller, people like that, I understand comedy changes. I get it. It's about what your audience want. But do the audience really want this? It's a pure tick box fest. And when you watch the full act, as I said, you can't really, unless of course they're very happy because they're being given complimentary booze or whatever, but it's just simply not funny. Now, many people have seen this already, many complaints, as you can imagine. But as I said at the start of the video, the problem with the BBC is they don't listen to their audience. They believe that the younger generation want this. And of course, when you talk to young people and you say, do you find this funny? And you might show them, say, a sketch or a comedy show from yesteryear, they don't get it. I get that. Many might suggest also the reason why they don't get it is because they've never really had comedy. They've had lectures and speeches. And when you look at something like this, you have to say, is this the best that the BBC can now throw up? Claiming, of course, this is comedy. Most of these people, it will be a big break for them, and I wish them all the best. But many, of course, will look at this and think, truly, is this what the BBC licence fee is now for? And more importantly, when you just see even this trailer, would you say, yes, money well spent? Remember, this is your head judge. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.